It was breaking takes on back for to it. Make sure you like and subscribe as you always. Watch the full video.
Chaos at court as a man accused of killing a sheriff's deputy a day after his son was shot by a police officer asked to be released on bail. I lay out the horrific chain of events out of Ohio and where the case could be heading.
Are you familiar with the acts of someone that is not in their right mind when they commit a criminal act?
I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix.
That is true though. That is true. Like, yes, on both sides, condolences, but they should still slightly understand where his mental went. Like, mind you, I don't have a kid, but as a kid who lost a parent, bruh, it hurts. So it could probably be way more intense when you're the parent who loses the kid, especially the way how he lost the kid. Mind you, like I said, condolences on both sides. And life, like I said, life is super precious, bruh. All it takes is a little bit of nothing, and life can be over. And that is a sad thing.
Before I get into this case out of Ohio, I want to talk a little bit about true crime news and law and occasionally for that sheriff's office in Cincinnati doing special details. Last Friday, he was doing that, directing traffic for graduation at the University of Cincinnati when police say a man named Rodney Hinton Jr. deliberately drove his vehicle into Henderson at this intersection. Deputy Henderson was rushed to the local trauma center, but there was nothing that could be done to save him. Within hours, he passed away from these devastating injuries. You're probably asking yourself, why would anybody deliberately drive a vehicle into somebody, much less a sheriff's deputy who was directing traffic at a college graduation? Well, police say Rodney Hinton Jr. did this on purpose, possibly to avenge the death of his son, Ryan Hinton. Ryan Hinton was 18 years old, and a day earlier, a Cincinnati police officer shot and killed him after encountering him and some others in a car that had been reported stolen out of Kentucky. Here's the police chief.
Officers across the...
See, I just said this on the video that I just reacted to. A lot of times, like, officers, they be heated. Not saying that that's necessarily what happened in that moment, but just in a general aspect. A lot of times, at least the video that I have reacted to and the police encounter that I have personally had, the police officers, they be heated with you for, like, understanding you're committing a crime. Don't get it twisted. You're committing a crime. But it's like, it's certain crimes where it's like, officer, you don't need to be mad at me. I didn't tell you to pick this job, and you knew, sadly, what came with this job, that you're going to encounter people doing dumb things. So therefore, you can't be mad at the person. Like I can say, if the person unalive somebody, they crash the car and again hurt somebody or unalive somebody, if they out here, a person who's taking it from somebody, yeah, that's somebody to be mad about. That's something to be mad about. That's somebody to be mad at. But somebody stole a car, you do not need to be mad at them. The video I just reacted to, that's what happened. The kid stole a car, and the officer was mad. They're grabbing them, like, mind you, again, you're committing a crime. Ain't nobody saying grab them and treat them like a little teddy bear. But bruh, like, you're superly aggressive for no reason.
Country confront dangerous situations every day, sometimes more than once a day.
Facts.
They are often compelled to make split-second decisions to protect others and themselves when faced with immediate threats.
Facts.
Yesterday was one of those occurrences. Let me be very direct.
You gotta see the body
cam. We cannot allow individuals to flee from officers with a loaded firearm aimed at them. When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic. No one wins, and everyone involved is affected.
She said you can't allow suspects to flee. That means leave with a loaded gun. I mean, people have done that, so therefore I can't even question it. Because again, doing these reaction videos, I have seen people do that. Like they be running and they aim backwards just like that and still try to fire. So
Police Chief Teresa Thigi outlined what occurred. It's something the Cincinnati Police Department does within 24 hours of an officer-involved shooting taking place.
Where the incident occurred is at the dead end of the parking lot back here. You'll see vehicles there now. You'll see a photo. The stolen car that we're going to talk about was backed into a parking spot back there. As you can see, this is a stolen Kia. It was stolen out of northern Kentucky yesterday. You can see we have two uniformed cars there. Prior to those uniformed cars arriving, we had two undercover cars that pulled into that dead end, saw the vehicle. They backed out. They saw that there were individuals inside the vehicle, so they backed out and let the uniform cars make the approach, which is the tactically sound decision to do. The cars are positioned the way.
I'm shaking my head at the kid still sitting in the stolen car. Like, why are you sitting in this car? Like, people, like, if you're gonna steal it, you're supposed to steal it, use it, do what you gotta do, and get up out of it. Why are you still sitting in it?
The officers are trained.
Not
We
your
are trained
car.
to
Like,
use
you
our
can't have
vehicles as cover from any threat. That's what those officers did with the cars at that time.
Chief Thigi then played a short portion of the body camera footage.
This is body-worn camera from officer number 2. Go ahead, Bobby.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun on your right! On your right!
This is the body camera footage from the officer who actually shot Ryan Hinton.
This is the other officer, the one who fires the shot. This is his body camera as he approaches the scene.
So you had to,
This is the firearm that was recovered at the scene after the individual was shot. This is what he had in his hand.
what happened? What? Because it seemed like he yelled gun. And they panicked and covered as they should. But where is the rest of the body cam? If you've seen the link, drop it in the comment section. Let me see it. Because if he just got out the car and just ate the car up, you were wrong. Like, y'all didn't even, what happened to get out the car, gun down, put it down 15,000 times before y'all do that.
While the officers were chasing.
If that's what happened, bro. If that's what happened.
It's just a photo of it here at Criminalistics. Remember I told you he fell on the concrete and the officers said that they heard the metal hit the ground? There are 3 spots on here where this gun has scratches on it. We believe those occurred when he hit the ground with the firearm. This is a second, sorry Bobby, can you go back 1 frame please? This magazine was in the firearm. That's an extended magazine, so it holds more rounds. Go ahead. This is a second magazine that was located in his sweatshirt pocket, his jacket pocket.
They had 2 of them.
And that is the magazine from that second magazine. This is another firearm that was located inside the stolen vehicle. This is a firearm that was also stolen out of northern Kentucky sometime yesterday, early yesterday morning. Approximately, we believe, based on timelines, this was stolen from a vehicle in northern Kentucky, and then they went on to steal the vehicle that's involved in the incident.
I want to tell you about a free app that I've tried. It's called Up.
Man, putting an ad in this type of video is crazy. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Ryan Hinton was revealed in a press conference after the police chief and others met with Ryan Hinton's family, including his father, Rodney Hinton Jr.
On Friday morning,
So
we
did
met
he have
with
it in his hand or
the
something?
police chief,
What happened?
The police
Did
chief of Cincinnati, and we viewed the body cam video of what happened with the police-involved shooting with Ryan. We stayed at the chief's office for about an hour and a half, and what we saw was disturbing. The family was upset, as you can imagine, watching your son, watching your grandson, watching your loved one getting shot and killed by the police was upsetting to this family. We left out of the police chief's office, and a few hours later, I was made aware that Rodney had an incident with a police officer that resulted in the officer's death. But again, we are...
So if it happened hours after y'all left that office, that's why. That video. Again, not saying it was right. Not saying it was right. But in his, probably more like in his state of mind, like you got to put yourself in them shoes. One, you just lost your kid. You just lost your kid in a way that you just lost your kid. Two, you watch the video of it happening. He probably was driving. He probably didn't even attend, like have the intentions of doing that. He probably just seen him and went into rage and just lost it. Again, you gotta put yourself in them shoes. I'm not a parent, but again, as a kid who lost a parent, bruh, trust me, it's hard, bruh. So
here because we represent the estate and the police-involved shooting.
Rodney Hinton left the meeting with the police chief, and sometime after that is when police say he intentionally drove his vehicle into Deputy Larry Henderson. A probable cause affidavit states a Hamilton County Sheriff's Office deputy was standing on the sidewalk at the corner of the intersection outside of the lanes of travel where he was engaged in traffic control. The deputy was wearing a uniform and a fluorescent traffic vest. Based on witness statements and evidence at the scene, the defendant drove across oncoming lanes of traffic through the intersection and directly at the deputy, who was struck by the vehicle, causing injuries to the deputy. That intersection near the University of Cincinnati's campus has flowers and blue ribbons decorated in memory and in honor of Larry Henderson, a man who was simply working a detail directing traffic for the University of Cincinnati's graduation. He worked at a different agency, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, than the police officer who shot Ryan Hinton. Larry Henderson had absolutely nothing to do with what happened to Ryan Hinton.
No,
On Monday,
didn't.
Ryan Hinton's family stood with their
He
lawyers,
lost it.
distancing themselves from what Ryan's father is accused of doing, intentionally murdering Deputy Henderson.
We're here because
Yeah,
we
that's
represent
wrong.
the estate of Ryan. We're not here to talk about the incident that occurred with the police officer. We do offer our condolences to the officer and his family. But we were hired to represent this family to investigate the police-involved shooting of their son, Ryan. This family is very upset about what occurred. We believe that this incident should be investigated. It's not as cut and dry as this officer should have just pulled out his gun and shot at Ryan. It's not that cut and dry. So that's what we're doing.
Ryan.
The records
Okay.
request. We're going to analyze frame by frame each.
Oh yeah. Like I said, if again, because based on them little clips right there, if the first officer yelled out, "Hey, gun," the second officer rolled up, hopped out, got in position, got some shield as you should in that moment. That's very crazy, a very crazy moment. But if is the key word, if he just got out, got some shield, and just got off, that was wrong. That was wrong, right? Guys, you're supposed to get down, put it down, drop it. Like there's a gang of words that they be using before they finally do something.
One of these videos to determine
if you had any seconds to do it though.
Decision to shoot and kill Ryan.
That's the thing people always gotta remember. Like sometimes it is split seconds though. That is the saddest thing about it though. It's split seconds though. In his mind, it probably wasn't no chance to ask or say nothing.
Ryan Hinton's grandfather, the father of Rodney Hinton, also spoke.
I want to give a condolence out to to the officers that got hurt, got killed, my whole family. I'm asking for forgiveness, and I've been praying hard for the officer that killed my grandson. I've been praying hard for him and his family because I know he's hurting off this. As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen two scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there trying to kill. No. What I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being in, and the officer, he was trying.
He real for saying that. Because anybody else would, I mean, not say anybody else, but most people were like, no, he was wrong. He like, especially like him seeing the video. That's why I keep saying if, and because you always gotta remember, we ain't there. I ain't seen the video. I'm not the officer, and I'm thankful and sadly not the victim. So therefore, we don't know what their mental is. A lot of times people just be quick to say, oh, the officer was in the wrong because he did the unliving. How you know he had a chance to do anything else? As a person who be doing these reaction videos, bro, I swear, a lot of times there is no second option.
Get back to his family too. So that's what I've seen. So it's not about revenge or anything. I had nothing against nobody. You know, my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ, and I represent Him. So, with that said, please, everybody, just try to forgive everybody who done anything to anybody.
Rodney Hinton Jr. appeared in court over the weekend following his arrest on an aggravated murder charge. A wall of Larry Henderson's colleagues surrounded him. Hinton muttered something about being gone forever. Hinton was moved to a jail in a neighboring county. He was back in court asking for bail, and things got heated in the gallery when his brother attempted to contact him by knocking on the courtroom glass.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat, sir. Sit down. That's my brother.
Come on, dog. Come on. Really? I can see if one person got up and, hey, come on, bro. You got to back up. All them officers in there, bro. Why y'all not at work? Like, I understand, like, y'all mourning, you know, y'all want to figure out and see what's going to happen, but y'all should be at work. Like, it's things are happening still on the street. That's crazy. All them officers got up for one man. That's sad as hell, man. That's sad as hell. That's crazy. I've never seen.
Rodney Hinton was rushed out of the court.
I've never seen so many officers in one courtroom for nothing. For nothing. Not saying that they don't have the right to, because families do it too. Families show up to court in a whole pack. So therefore, I understand it. But it's the getting up part for this. Everybody had to stand up.
Room as his brother was escorted out of the gallery.
Look, he ready to fight. Look, he ready to fight. Look.
Shortly thereafter, court resumed, with Hinton's lawyer asking for bail for him and entering a not guilty plea on his behalf.
Judge, I'm going to waive probable cause as a result of being acquainted with the case. I'm waiving probable cause.
Thank you so much. And
Not guilty. Bro, you.
Is there a plea this morning?
I don't know.
Plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Plea of not guilty? Yes. Will you enter a plea of not guilty?
Oh,
and
what?
Thank you.
Plea of insanity?
And
As to bond, the state has requested a hearing on the issue of bond or bail. You may be aware of that.
I am aware of that.
Who would like to proceed?
I'm proceeding, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, a detective testified about what happened that day.
Tell me what he did after he stopped.
So based on witness statements as well as the video, the vehicle accelerated quickly, proceeded eastbound, crossed into the oncoming lanes of traffic when there was no longer traffic to obstruct his travel. Crossed into the oncoming lanes of traffic, went to the left of those little stanchions that are in the middle of the roadway, into the oncoming lanes, through the intersection, directly at where Deputy Henderson was standing, struck Deputy Henderson and the metal utility pole on the northeast corner of the intersection.
Okay. Were there any evidence of skid marks?
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to brake, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson.
And is that the conclusion that our accident reconstructionists have come to at this point?
At this time, yes.
Okay. And does it appear from your review of the video that he headed straight for Deputy Henderson?
Yes.
And did any of the multiple witnesses that you spoke to and the people that were in the vehicles that were surrounding him, the people that were on scene, did anyone indicate that any attempt to slow down or deviate his path straight to Deputy Henderson?
No. Everybody said that he accelerated, was traveling at a high rate of speed.
Again, that's sad as hell, man. Condolences to that man, to the officer, because bro, you didn't deserve to go out like that. That's crazy. Get run down like that. That's sad as hell, bro. That's cold. That's cold. But again, it might sound crazy, but these one, as a human being, and especially for the countless parents in this room, they should understand where his mind went.
All the way up until
again, not saying it's right,
Deputy Henderson.
But okay.
You gotta understand.
And when he struck Deputy Henderson, was the deputy injured?
Yes, he was gone.
And what happened after he struck Deputy Henderson?
Deputy Henderson was launched several feet through the air. He came to rest in a turn lane several feet from where the collision occurred.
Rodney Hitton's defense attorney then questioned the detective.
Judge, first of all, I would like to offer on behalf of the Hinton family and myself prayers to the Hinton family, prayers to the family of Larry Henderson, the fallen deputy, and I thank the court for having a fair assembly in the courtroom today. With that, I'd like to ask you a few questions, not a lot, okay?
Yes, sir.
You said that Mr. Hinton left the police station around 12:30. CIS.
He initially left around 10:30.
Came back and then left again.
And then returned a couple hours later, yes.
And you said that individuals that know Mr. Hinton, his family members, were saying that he appeared to be agitated, upset, and so forth, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't know the source of that that agitation or that distraughtness, do you? If you know, you might not. I don't think you do, but you have to answer the question.
The source of the agitation?
Yes.
Well, I would assume it was because of I believe it was because of the video and the reason that he was at CIS.
Do you know the mental history of Mr. Hinton?
No, I do not know detailed mental history.
Right. Do you know whether or not he's had any medically documented infirmities or conditions? Do you know that? You don't, do you?
No, I do not.
After bond was denied, the sheriff gave a brief statement.
That don't mean nothing. Mental past, none of that. That moment, that situation overrides all that. Forget if you've been through something in the past or not. Your son was just snatched from you. Just like them officers feel. It's like any other human would feel when somebody is snatched from you. Come on, bro.
He was a 33-year career deputy for our department. He retired approximately 5 months ago, and he continued to serve under oath, and he was directing traffic that day at what would have been a very, very joyous occasion for the University of Cincinnati graduates. Unfortunately, you know what unfolded, and we have lost Larry. Larry has been a deputy who has been so extraordinary. We've retired his badge number. Badge number 129 will be retired. Larry touched so many lives in this organization because he was a trainer, because he worked in so many specialized units. And Larry was very animate about the fact that he stay on the front line. He did not wish to take exams to be promoted because Larry's service was on that front line. And I have to tell you, that is bravery extraordinaire. When deputies decide that they want to be out there facing every day to day, that's a sacrifice, and it's a sacrifice for his family, and they have made the ultimate sacrifice.
I want to bring in Ken Kober. He is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police in Cincinnati, Ohio. So, Ken, this is a shocking turn of events. We have a young man who was in an officer-involved shooting. He was killed by a Cincinnati police officer on a Thursday, and then the next day, police say that his father, and it sounds like intentionally, mows down a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy who's directing traffic at a college graduation. So it's a pretty shocking turn of events.
Yeah, it's been a terrible, terrible. Thursday was a tragedy. That an officer had to defend his own life, and then on Friday to have a sheriff's deputy murdered simply directing traffic for a graduation is it's unthinkable.
I know you put out a pretty strong statement after Larry Henderson passed away from being hit by this vehicle, and you were calling for the prosecutor to pursue the death penalty in this case. So it sounds like you believe that this was no accident. You believe that this was intentional. Tell me what.
This was a heat of the moment, bro. The heat of the situation, the heat of the thoughts. Like, I can't directly say heat of the moment because it was the next day, but still. Like, this guy, he must not have no kids or he must not have no sympathy for life or something. Because again, not saying that what he did was right. Do not get that twisted. But put yourself in that position. I don't even gotta say that. Like, in life, like, bro, somebody was snatched from. I understand that's probably why he felt that way. Because his friend was snatched from him. An officer, a family was snatched from him. So therefore, this is exactly how you feel this way. He felt that way. He just saw the video. Yes, he left, came back. They probably talked about it some more, and he got reheated again. Like, that's to be honest, it's not even something to explain. Like, that's not something you take his life for, bro. Like, I don't know
what you know about this that leads you to believe that.
Absolutely. You know, our traffic unit and our homicide unit work together. And through the course of their investigation, they determined that this absolutely was an intentional act. And yes, I am absolutely standing with, I think, every other law enforcement officer in this county that expects the prosecutor to pursue the death penalty in this case.
That's crazy.
The lawyer for Ryan Hinton's estate, for the son, said that the father, Rodney Hinton, had been in a meeting with Cincinnati police. And for people who maybe aren't aware of this, there's a longstanding collaborative agreement in the city of Cincinnati where, you know, there was a history many, many moons ago, years ago, of some police-involved shootings involving young African-American men. The federal government came in.
I don't want to say that's irrelevant, but that still is not people. You got, like, they gotta see it from this. Forget all that other stuff. Not saying forget like it's nothing, but look at the very situation. Your son was snatched from life. Your mental is not on 100% like good. Again, I think, mind you, I'm not him, but I would think that all right, he probably was driving, seen the officer, and it hit like the rage, everything just went back up. He probably was calming down and it went back up. Like that's like you walking into the house and seeing your significant other, you know, in the bed. Like this situation is a little different because somebody being unalive, but versus you seeing somebody doing a dope moment. But it's the rage. It's the rage. It's the emotion that you're going through. Like
there's this agreement where now Cincinnati police, within 24 hours, if there's an officer involved shooting, they say, this is what we know. They try to be very open with the public and present what they can about the investigation. And before that happened, apparently, they were having a meeting with the family of Ryan Hinton and showing them this body camera footage of what happened. And the family of Ryan Hinton, or the lawyers for Ryan Hinton, said the father left that meeting very angry. And apparently after this meeting is when Mr. Henderson, the deputy, Larry Henderson, was run down by Rodney Hinton. So do you know anything more about?
In his mind, he probably feel like off top. Is he so you saw the video? You shouldn't have felt sad for your son. You should have just felt like he was wrong and the officer did what he had to do, and that's it. And it's never that simple, bro. Like especially when you're like, I don't know. I don't want to keep pausing and make this video.
What may have happened
in I'm starting to get heated too. Like it's crazy how like.
You know, the police department does a fantastic job being transparent and getting this information out as soon as they can when a critical incident occurs. And that also includes meeting with the family. To the chief, it goes over with them, if there's body camera footage of what occurred, how things occurred. And while I understand that, the father was upset, that's absolutely no excuse to go and murder a police officer who had nothing to do with this, to murder anybody. Like I said, I understand emotions were running high. My understanding that there was some kind of confrontation that occurred there. I wasn't there for it. And then apparently at some point he stormed off. And then, of course, that led to just more tragic events.
Mm-hmm. What can you tell us about the investigation?
Like I said,
what has been revealed through that traffic investigation?
Wrong.
You said the traffic unit.
You didn't have to run that man down.
What's come of that? I mean, were there some statements made by Rodney Hinton where did he say something about, I did this on purpose, or, an eye for an eye? I mean, what happened?
No, it's never an eye for an eye.
I'm not going to get into too much of the investigation and what they have, evidence they have, but I could tell you all the evidence pointed towards this absolutely was an intentional act. And then that was, in my opinion, only further proven when at his arraignment Saturday morning, showing absolutely zero remorse whatever for what happened.
Tell me, Ken, if you would, how much of an impact, how difficult has this been for the law enforcement community there in Cincinnati, Ohio, having a deputy? I mean, this was a retired deputy working a traffic detail at a college graduation and he retired in December, is my understanding. So this is an off-duty detail that he's working.
Again.
And he's just working the traffic, thing. And he's run down. I mean, what has this been like for the police officers there in the Cincinnati area?
Quite honestly, it's terrible. It's infuriating. It's sad. That a deputy who's there directing traffic, running a light for an occasion which should be a fantastic occasion. You got a bunch of University of Cincinnati students that are graduating. Should be a time to celebrate. Instead, it's nothing but a time of tragedy. From the first officer that responded, that had to try to administer CPR. To the deputies that all are on scene, to our traffic unit or homicide unit, everybody that's been involved with this. It's just an absolute, just seeing the evil that society has is something that has been very hard to deal with. And of course, we had the flying pig this weekend. Officers had to go right back to putting a uniform on as they're trying to process what occurred. to go in and protect the public because that's what we're sworn to do. It's something that it's certainly going to be very, very difficult to get us through this process.
Mm-hmm. And it's my understanding too that Larry.
See, I don't know. I don't know. I just, and I'm not saying it because he's white and I'm black, and the situation happened with a white guy and a black kid. Because me personally, I'm on the side of life, human beings, and again, human beings get a little off track. Human beings don't know why we're here, why we're these colors, why we. Humans don't know nothing. You feel me? At the end of the day, so I'm on the side of life. This whole situation is sad. This whole situation is crazy. This whole situation was unnecessary. This whole situation didn't need to happen on both sides. But it seems like slightly he's only on the side of the officer side. Again, condolences to him. It for sure didn't need to happen. That for sure was majorly wrong. That for sure was intentional. But it was intentional because he was heated. He was in his, again, I don't know. Again, if you lost somebody, you take that feeling and super intensify it, and it's the moment right then and there. Right, not right then and there, but seeing that video, come on, bro. Guarantee if you take the video of Sally, of what happened to the officer, and replay it, directly what happened to him or to anybody that that's his mate, his loved one, somebody that truly care about him. Guaranteed, it could be years later they gonna get reheated because that's a sad, crazy, unnecessary moment.
Henderson, I mean, this is somebody who had a wife, and I was reading last night too that I believe he was fostering some very young children.
Yeah, I mean, just an absolute fantastic person. Had a fantastic career in the sheriff's department, and then retired and decided that still wanted to be involved. So he became a special deputy. That their primary function is to work off-duty details where on-duty people aren't available. Just to make some extra money in retirement. To be able to take care of his family further. The kids that he has, and it's just something that is absolutely senseless that never should have happened.
Do you expect that the prosecutor, I know you can't speak for the prosecutor, but do you expect that they will? I mean, do you believe that Connie Pillich, the newly elected Hamilton County prosecutor, will seek the death penalty in this case?
Well, the statement that she's made already is that she is going to throw the full force of the law to this defendant. And under the full force of the law would mean that she's going to pursue the death penalty. She certainly hasn't made any statements saying that yet, but that is something that myself and every other police officer in this tri-state area expect that is going to happen.
Ken, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think it is important to note that through this tragedy, though, the outpouring of support from the community, as you saw, officers working the Flying Pig, the Reds were in town this weekend, has been incredible. I know there's been a lot of keyboard warriors that have had threats towards the police and things like that on social media. But when you see people face to face, the good people in this community, the elected leaders that have reached out to give condolences, is something that at least there's.
Why can't it be the community needs to come together? We both lost somebody. They lost an officer, and the community lost a kid. Why can't we need to all come together? That's where my mental is. Why can't it be that? Why it's like he just owned the officer side, and that's crazy. That's super crazy. But that's what's wrong with human beings. That's why humans continue to do dumb things and wrong and shameful things, because humans don't be caring about the next human. They only care about the one that they know.
Been at least something good that has come out of this, but we fully expect that he will be prosecuted. And like I said, I will be doing everything in my power to make sure that the death penalty is pursued.
And I know that you had told me before we started that you knew Larry Henderson just a little bit. You didn't know him well, but you did know him a little bit.
Yeah, just see him in passing. I mean, it's kind of hard when you work in Cincinnati, especially when we work with the sheriff's department and somebody that was involved in in as many things as he was, it's kind of hard not to pass cross paths with a lot of the sheriff's department. They're a fantastic group of guys, and as I was talking to some deputies last night that knew him very, very well, that were really good friends with him. I mean, just the stories that they're telling, it just speaks volumes of the character of him and how well loved he was, and how much he's really going to be missed.
And it's just a tragedy. It's just awful. Well, Ken Kober, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Someone had started a GoFundMe to raise money for Rodney Hinton's defense. That GoFundMe has been taken down, and GoFundMe has actually issued an apology to the Fraternal Order of Police over that fundraiser. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks.
Wow, bro. Wow, the nigga he don't deserve a good lawyer, bro? That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Again, I'm on the side of human beings. Forget a color that we don't even know why we even have the color. That's dumb. Condolences to both sides, because neither side, the kid didn't need to lose his life, and the officer for sure he didn't deserve, and he didn't need to be run down. Condolences to both sides. Human beings are crazy.